In our last video, we walked through the science, the published, peer-reviewed research, showing how the peel of the pomegranate contains some of the most potent natural antioxidants ever studied for kidney health. Today, we answer the question everyone has been waiting for: how do you actually use it? And more importantly, which methods have real science behind them, which ones are practical for seniors, and what do you absolutely need to know before you start? Let us get into it. Before we walk you through the specific methods, there is something critically important you need to understand. The polyphenols in pomegranate peel, particularly punicalagin and ellagic acid, are not easily absorbed directly from the gut into the bloodstream in large amounts. This is a well-established scientific fact. Research published in peer-reviewed journals confirms that ellagitannins and ellagic acid have limited direct bioavailability. They are characterized by high molecular weight and limited absorption from the gastrointestinal tract in their original form. So does that mean it does not work? Absolutely not. Here is what the science actually tells us. When you consume pomegranate peel compounds, whether through a decoction, a standardized supplement, or pomegranate juice, those ellagitannins travel to your large intestine. There, your gut microbiome, the community of bacteria living in your colon, metabolizes them and converts them into smaller, highly bioactive molecules called urolithins. Urolithin A, in particular, is now one of the most studied natural compounds in aging science. Research published in Trends in Molecular Medicine describes urolithin A as a gut microbiome-derived compound that has been shown to enhance mitochondrial function, reduce excessive inflammatory responses, and increase a cellular cleanup process called mitophagy, the removal of damaged mitochondria from cells. These are exactly the biological processes that decline with aging and exactly the processes involved in kidney cell deterioration. So the pathway works like this. You consume pomegranate peel compounds. Your gut bacteria convert them into urolithins. Urolithins enter your bloodstream and reach target tissues, including kidney cells, where they exert their antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects. But here is the important caveat that science demands we share. Not everyone converts pomegranate polyphenols into urolithins equally well. Research from a study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition tested 100 healthy adults and found that only 40% produced significant amounts of urolithin A after consuming pomegranate juice. Only 12% had detectable levels of urolithin A in their bloodstream at baseline without any dietary challenge. This individual variability is determined by your gut microbiome composition, which differs from person to person based on diet, age, antibiotic history, and other factors. Importantly, research also suggests that this conversion capacity declines with aging. We are telling you this because you deserve the full picture. What this means practically is that the same dose of pomegranate peel may have meaningfully different effects in different individuals, and this is an area where science is still actively developing. With that foundation in place, let us now walk through every evidence-informed method of using pomegranate peel, from the simplest home preparation to standardized supplementation. Number 1. Pomegranate peel tea, hot water decoction. This is the oldest and most accessible method. It has been used in traditional medicine systems across the Middle East, Asia, and the Indian subcontinent for centuries. And modern research has now given us scientific insight into why it works and how to do it most effectively. Published research on aqueous extraction of pomegranate peel has confirmed that water is actually an effective solvent for pulling out polyphenols from the peel. A study specifically examining water extraction efficiency found that the highest recovery of polyphenols and proanthocyanidins was achieved at approximately 50 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. Water gave the highest extract yield of polyphenols at 17.78%, outperforming some organic solvents like ethyl acetate. Separate research published in 2024 in Beverage Plant Research specifically analyzed pomegranate peel polyphenols prepared as a tea and confirmed that the flavonoids present in pomegranate peel are highly suitable for tea preparation due to their exceptional water solubility and thermal stability. These compounds exhibit potent antioxidant activity, effectively scavenging free radicals within the body, thereby mitigating oxidative stress response and safeguarding cells against oxidative damage. A further study scientifically compared the antioxidant activity of pomegranate peel infusion beverages against 4 commercial brands of green tea, and found that the peel infusion's antioxidant activity exceeded green tea by approximately 18% on one measure and 11% on another. How to prepare pomegranate peel tea. Step by step. Step 1. Sourcing and cleaning the peel. Use peels from fresh, ripe pomegranates. Wash them thoroughly under running water to remove any surface residues. If possible, choose organic pomegranates to minimize pesticide exposure, since you will be consuming the peel rather than discarding it. Step 2. Drying the peel. This is where most people make a mistake. You need to dry the peel before using it. You can do this by placing the peels in direct sunlight for 2 to 3 days until completely dry, or in an oven at the lowest possible setting around 40 to 50 degrees Celsius for several hours. Proper drying preserves polyphenolic compounds and prevents mold. Step 3. Grinding into powder. Once fully dried, place the peels in a blender or food processor and grind them into a fine powder. Store the powder in an airtight container at room temperature, away from direct sunlight. Step 4. Brewing the tea. Use approximately 2 to 3 grams of pomegranate peel powder, roughly 1 teaspoon per cup of water. The research suggests that heating water to around 50 degrees Celsius, which is hot but not boiling, gives the highest polyphenol yield. However, based on traditional decoction methods that are also scientifically studied, adding the peel powder to water that has just come off the boil, covering the pot, and allowing it to steep for 15 to 20 minutes before straining is a practical and effective approach. The tea has a characteristically bitter, astringent taste, which is actually the flavonoid and tannin content you can taste. You can add a small amount of natural honey to soften it. Avoid adding dairy, as milk proteins can bind to polyphenols and reduce their bioavailability. Storage note from research. Scientific study on extract stability found that pomegranate peel extract, stored at room temperature for 110 days, resulted in a 13.2% loss of total polyphenol content. Storing your dried peel powder in the refrigerator significantly slows this degradation. For maximum potency, use dried peel powder within 3 to 4 months. Number 2. Pomegranate peel powder in food. If the bitterness of the tea is a barrier for you, pomegranate peel powder can also be incorporated directly into food, and this is a practical option that many seniors find easier to sustain over time. The same dried and ground powder described above can be stirred into a glass of plain water or diluted juice, a smoothie made with fruit and yogurt, a bowl of oatmeal or porridge, a cup of herbal tea where the other flavors help mask the bitterness. The key point from a scientific perspective is that the polyphenols in pomegranate peel are largely water-soluble, particularly the flavonoid fraction, which means they are bioavailable through aqueous or food-based consumption, not just through supplemental extract. Research also confirms that consuming pomegranate peel compounds alongside food that contains healthy fats, such as a small amount of olive oil, yogurt, or nuts, may support the absorption of fat-soluble components and create a favorable digestive environment for polyphenol processing by the gut microbiome. A practical, science-informed daily approach would be half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of pomegranate peel powder in your morning smoothie or porridge. This is not a clinically standardized dose, we want to be clear about that, but it is consistent with the traditional amounts used in food medicine applications and the quantities studied for polyphenol contribution to dietary, antioxidant status. Number 3. Pomegranate peel standardized supplements. What are standardized supplements? Standardized pomegranate peel extract supplements are commercially manufactured products where the peel has been processed using controlled extraction methods, typically ethanol, water, or other food-grade solvents, and then dried and encapsulated. They are standardized because they guarantee a consistent concentration of the key active compound, most commonly expressed as a percentage of ellagic acid content. The most common standardizations available in the supplement market range from 40% ellagic acid content, which has been widely studied, up to higher concentrations. These capsules typically contain 250 to 500 milligrams of extract per serving. In the randomized controlled clinical trial published in 2020 involving 100 hemodialysis patients, the dose used was approximately 180 milligrams of ellagic acid per day delivered via pomegranate peel extract tablets for 8 weeks. This produced significant improvements in oxidative stress markers and antioxidant capacity. In research examining metabolic syndrome and kidney injury, pomegranate extract was administered at 100 to 200 milligrams per kilogram of body weight in animal models with significant reduction in kidney injury markers at both doses. Research published in peer-reviewed literature has raised a nuanced point that every consumer should understand. Scientists have noted that synergy among the various pomegranate fractions and phytochemicals is the most important factor for assessing the strength of a pomegranate supplement, not simply the concentration of ellagic acid alone. In other words, a product standardized to an extremely high ellagic acid percentage may have stripped away other beneficial compounds and gallic acid that work together to produce the full antioxidant effect. Products derived from whole pomegranate peel that retain their natural polyphenolic profile may offer advantages over those engineered simply to maximize one compound. When selecting a pomegranate peel extract supplement, look for products that specify the source as pomegranate peel or rind, not just pomegranate juice or fruit. Look for third-party testing verification. Look for products standardized to punicalagin or to a full polyphenol spectrum, not only ellagic acid. And look for supplements that list their polyphenol profile comprehensively. For seniors who are concerned about whether their gut microbiome can efficiently convert pomegranate polyphenols into urolithins, which, as we discussed, declines with age, there is now a direct supplementation option. Urolithin A is now available as a standalone dietary supplement, bypassing the need for gut microbial conversion entirely. Research has confirmed that direct supplementation with urolithin A results in plasma levels that are significantly higher and more consistent than what is achieved through pomegranate juice consumption alone, making this a viable option for older adults whose microbiome conversion capacity may be reduced. Clinical research in healthy elderly individuals has found that urolithin A increased biomarkers of mitochondrial function, which is directly relevant to aging kidney cells. However, this is a newer area of research, and long-term safety and efficacy data in kidney-specific outcomes still requires further study. Number 4. Whole pomegranate juice. It is worth addressing pomegranate juice separately, because it is the most widely consumed and commercially available form, and because it has its own scientific literature. When pomegranate fruit is processed commercially, particularly when the whole fruit is pressed rather than just the arils, meaningful amounts of peel-derived polyphenols, including punicalagin, are extracted into the juice. Research has confirmed that punicalagin is the dominant polyphenol in many commercially processed pomegranate juices, precisely because it comes from the peel during pressing. The year-long randomized placebo-controlled trial in hemodialysis patients used 100 milliliters of pomegranate juice consumed 3 times per week and produced significant reductions in oxidative stress, inflammation, and infection rates. A crossover trial in 41 hemodialysis patients consuming 100 milliliters of natural pomegranate juice after each dialysis session found significant reductions in oxidative stress markers, improvements in total antioxidant capacity, reductions in the inflammatory marker interleukin-6, and improvements in blood pressure, all within 8 weeks. The practical challenge with juice is, pomegranate juice does contain meaningful polyphenols, but it also contains natural sugars. For seniors with diabetes, pre-diabetes, or blood sugar management concerns, consuming pomegranate juice daily in meaningful quantities needs to be done with awareness and ideally with medical guidance. Look for 100% pure pomegranate juice with no added sugar, artificial flavoring, or dilution with cheaper juices. Many commercial products labeled pomegranate juice are significantly diluted or sweetened. Read the ingredient list carefully. A serving of 100 to 150 milliliters of pure pomegranate juice, the amounts used in clinical trials, provides meaningful polyphenol content while keeping sugar intake manageable in the context of an otherwise healthy diet. What every senior must know before starting. We want to spend meaningful time on this section because it is genuinely important, particularly for seniors who are typically on multiple medications. The good news is that pomegranate peel extract has a well-studied safety profile. Animal toxicology studies found no observed adverse effects at doses up to 600 milligrams per kilogram of body weight per day over 90 days. Human and animal studies have generally reported no significant side effects at typical supplemental doses. In human clinical trials, including the 100 patient randomized controlled trial in hemodialysis patients, pomegranate peel extract was well tolerated without significant adverse events. However, pomegranate, including its peel-derived compounds, contains ellagic acid, which can interact with enzymes in the liver called cytochrome P450 enzymes. These are the same enzymes responsible for metabolizing many commonly prescribed medications. Specifically, research has documented that pomegranate may interact with blood thinners, including warfarin. There is a documented case in medical literature of a possible interaction between pomegranate juice and warfarin. If you are on any blood-thinning medication, this is not a supplement to add without explicit physician approval. Statins, cholesterol-lowering medications. Pomegranate compounds may affect how quickly statins are cleared from your body, potentially altering their effects. Antipsychotic medications. Ellagic acid may interact with how these drugs are metabolized. Antihypertensive medications. Blood pressure medications. Pomegranate itself has blood pressure-lowering properties. If you are already on medication to lower blood pressure, combining it with pomegranate supplementation could cause your blood pressure to drop lower than intended. Midazolam and similar sedative drugs. A clinical study specifically documented that pomegranate consumption affected the pharmacokinetics of midazolam in healthy volunteers. This is not a list to frighten you away from pomegranate. It is a list to emphasize that natural does not mean interaction-free. Every senior currently on prescription medication should have an explicit conversation with their physician or pharmacist before adding pomegranate peel extract or pomegranate juice to their health regimen. If you have been diagnosed with existing kidney disease, any stage of chronic kidney disease, this conversation with your doctor is not optional. It is essential. Pomegranate peel contains potassium, and in advanced kidney disease, potassium intake requires careful management. Even natural compounds that have been studied for kidney protection can have different implications in people with significantly impaired kidney function. Let us pull everything together into a clear, practical framework. If you are in good health with no significant medications and want to explore the food-based approaches, pomegranate peel tea, peel powder in your morning smoothie or oatmeal, or 100 milliliters of pure pomegranate juice a few times a week, these are reasonable, evidence-informed lifestyle additions. They are consistent with traditional use and supported by the documented polyphenol content and antioxidant activity of the peel. If you are interested in a more targeted supplemental approach, look for a standardized pomegranate peel extract product from a reputable company that specifies its polyphenolic content, ideally including punicalagin, not just ellagic acid, and has undergone third-party testing. Bring the label to your doctor before starting. If you are already on prescription medications of any kind, particularly blood thinners, blood pressure medications, statins, or sedatives, make your physician aware before adding any form of pomegranate supplementation to your routine. If you are interested in the urolithin A angle, particularly because of age-related concerns about gut microbiome efficiency, this is an emerging and exciting area of research. Look for products using validated formulations and again, discuss with your healthcare provider. And in all cases, consistency matters more than intensity. The clinical benefits observed in research came from regular, sustained consumption over weeks. A single cup of peel tea is not a treatment, a daily practice maintained over time as part of a broader commitment to diet, hydration, physical activity, and medical care. That is where real health protection is built. We started this video with a simple question: what is hiding inside the part of the pomegranate we throw away? And what we found after following the science carefully and honestly is remarkable. The peel of the pomegranate contains a concentration of polyphenolic compounds led by punicalagin that has demonstrated real, measurable biological activity in protecting kidney tissue from oxidative damage. It does this through direct free radical neutralization, through anti-inflammatory pathways, and through the activation of the body's own internal defense systems. And now you know not only what the science shows, but how to use it, practically, safely, with the nuance that science itself demands. Pomegranate peel tea brewed at home from dried ground peel, peel powder added to your morning routine, pure pomegranate juice consumed consistently, or a quality standardized supplement, discussed with your doctor. None of these are magic. None of them replace medical care, hydration, a kidney-friendly diet, or a relationship with a physician who knows your health history. But all of them represent an informed, evidence-grounded choice to work with your body's own defenses, to give your kidneys the antioxidant support that aging increasingly takes away. If this video helped you, please share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to Senior Health Insights, because this is the kind of deep, research-backed content we are committed to bringing you every week. Your questions matter. Drop them in the comments below. We will see you in the next video.